I have a bad habit of waiting for TV shows to have horrible endings before I start watching them. Notoriously, I did this with The Walking Dead, where everyone says, oh, it's really good until season 8 or 9, and that's when I started watching, knowing ahead of time that I'm going to hate the ending, but that there's a fun ride to go along. I did the same thing with Game of Thrones, although I never even finished it. People said, oh, this sucks. Season 8, the finale, it's horrible. And that's the day that I decided to start watching it. Well, I've done it again, people, with Stranger Things Season 5 just coming out. I've heard people are really not happy with it. People were even speculating that there was a secret episode that was going to fix all the problems of the final season. And yeah, no, that was hardcore copium. But I finally decided I'm going to sit down and actually watch it. I got a new TV, got the 60-inch TV, got my own apartment, got no job. So I got a little bit of time right now to binge watch some stuff before I get into a new job. And so, yeah, I stayed up watching and I see what the hype was about, man. This is an incredible show. I remember trying to get into it years ago, and I watched like the first 5 minutes, and I just couldn't do it. The first scene is this guy running in some hallway and then getting eaten, and I'm like, in today's day and age, there's just so many like big scary monster that it's just like it's not unique, you know. Maybe at some point that would have been interesting. Maybe someone out there really loves people running and getting eaten, but it's not really my thing. You need a little bit more plot before I care about that. So that was boring. And then the next little bit that you get into the show is just these kids playing some board game that kind of alludes to the Demogorgon and everything that comes later on. And I don't know, I thought that was going to be the entire show. I didn't enjoy, 10-year-olds playing board games. That gets old pretty fast. And so within 5 minutes, I judged the book by the cover and I didn't finish it. But upon coming back to it years later, those things are kind of the big highlights of the show, and I just didn't give them long enough to prove themselves. First of all, the people running from the big scary monster in the lab. It turns out it's a lab, not just some random hallway somewhere. I'm a sci-fi purist, and honestly, like fantasy and magic can be fun, but I need them to pretend that they're science. Otherwise, I just can't get into it for whatever reason. And so what I love about this show is it's very indulgent in like the fantasy magic bullshit. But they have this lab and these scientists and these people who are trying to figure it out. And to me, that kind of gives at least some degree of credibility into all the magical bullshit going on. So I really enjoyed that. The first scene, which I hated when I first saw it, ended up, it was a prelude to what would end up being one of the reasons I loved the first season of this show. Second bit, those kids playing the board game, I think that was actually something the show did really well, was they showed a lot of different perspectives. You had the main crew of Mike, Will, Lucas, and Elle, and Dustin, that's the other kid's name. So you have like the kids going and doing their thing, and then you have, what was her name, Nancy and Steve and John. They're doing their thing, and then you have the cop guy, Hop, and Will's mom, Will's crazy psycho of a mom. They're not communicating, they're all in their own little departments, each doing their own investigation, slowly getting towards the mystery, which I thought was really fun. I think it kept it really fresh to have multiple perspectives and very different people all trying to figure out the mystery. And I thought it was really cool to like keep them separated until the very end, and then it all really comes together. What else? The Upside Down is really cool. Like, there's nothing really like it. The closest thing that I can think of is the Backrooms, which I recently saw. But it's a really unique concept. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. And so it's honestly really fun. And it felt smart, too. The show is written with intelligence. The show revealed the mystery by having the characters do things to uncover it rather than just telling it. Which seems like, the most bare minimum writing, but with the amount of crap shows that Disney and everything puts out these days, such, simply intelligent writing is such a breath of fresh air. It's a lot like Project Hail Mary, where the mystery is revealing itself as the plot is progressing, which is just like, that's just the right way to create a TV show or a movie. I don't know why. I don't know. It feels like TV shows have been so lazy recently. And so I enjoy when one can be intelligent like this. Other than that, what else was good about the show? I can't think of anything. I guess that's it. I guess that's all there is to say, huh? That's another thing that's really good. They have the supporting characters are really good. There's one that I really like, the science teacher, who is from the school, and he's helping them figure things out as they're trying to figure out what this weird upside down dimension is. I liked it because he was, just a good side character, but he wasn't one note either. He was on a date with this girl, it seemed, and the boys are phoning him on Saturday at 10 p.m. like, hey, we need help with this big emergency. And he's like actually willing to help and spend his free time, even though he's on a date, to help them. And I mean, he's pretty one note. He's only there to serve the plot and to, answer science questions. But it shows just how much he actually cares about them and that he's making personal sacrifices for his work. I just think it's a really well written, simple character that really is there to move the plot along, but it's satisfying. I kind of liked it.